All right, I need to make new flasks. All right, I'm not a big fan of wooden flasks, but I got to make some wooden flasks to make some metal flasks that I'm going to make a little bit later here. And I don't have what I have right now. It's not big enough for me to make the size flask size that I want to make. And I'm making another tool, hopefully tomorrow I'm going to cast it, that needs to have a bigger flask. So we're going to make some wooden flasks. I know you've seen that before. In fact, just to drop names, Art by Adrock just made a video on him making flasks. Mine are going to be a little bit different. You know, I'm going to take it to the kind of a next level. And we're going to make mine out of 2x4s, but I'm going to plane the wood down to 1 inch thick, because why not? I mean, anybody can make it out of 3/4 inch. Anybody can make it out of 1.5 inches. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to take you through it, be real quick, real easy, and I'll show you the flask at the end. All right, so I'm going to start off here by just ripping my 2x4s down to about 1 1/8 wide, just close to the inch that I'm going to end up finishing them at. And I know I should be using a push stick or something like that, but I didn't. So you can yell at me in the comments if you want. I took them outside, ran them through my portable planer, just to simply get the surfaces cleaned up and to get them dimensionally, get them all the same. This way they're all exactly 1 inch thick, and then I ran them through on edge and got them the same height as well. Once I got that done, it's just simply a matter of marking out the lengths. I ended up going like 6 inches on the inside. I think it turns out about 16.5. We'll see it later in the video on the inside of this box. So just chopping up the pieces for that. Once I got everything cut, I'm going to go ahead and rip these blocks down to right at 2 inches, 50 millimeters, because my drag is going to be shorter than my my cope. I haven't had a reason to have a tall drag yet, and it just saves me sand, and it keeps things a little bit lighter. So I'm just making the drag a little bit shorter, and that's all I'm doing here. And now what you're going to see is I'm going to be cutting a slot in each of these guys, and I'll talk about this again at the end as well, what I'm doing that for. But basically, we're just going to cut a slot in the center of all of these guys, and I probably should have done the bottoms, but I did the centers, and that's just the way it turned out. And I'm making them wider here, and you'll see me, I'll point it out here in just a second to show you how beautiful it is. But essentially, it's just about a 1/4 inch wide slot that I'm going to stick a spline in. Now, I marked all my boxes before I glued them up, so make sure that my slots that I did on the inside were all the same orientation, same height. And there you go, it was 6 inches by a little over 16.5. That's what it turns out to be. And this is going to be one of the copes, the 2 inch high ones or 3.5 inch high ones. And I just simply tight bonded them, used tight bond on the ends, and I'm like, or by Adrock, I'm nailing mine so I don't have to hold them until until they dry. So just a simple matter of gluing and nailing. That's all we're going to do here. In a second here, you're going to see me finish up the last of the drags that I put together. I'm using like a 2 inch finish nail, I think, here. And here's the last piece, right? The last part of the machine. You can see how those slots lined up just like they're supposed to. So when I put that spline in there, it will be at the same location all the way around the flask. And these are just this is actually just the stuff that I ripped off earlier when I was ripping those 2x4s. Look at watch this great saw. Watch this. Boom, perfect. Look at that edge. Anyway, those are just a scrap that I ripped when I was ripping the 2x4s down to get them close to 1 inch. that I've cut down to 1/2 inch tall, and I'm just going to glue them in there, and we'll use my brad nailer here and just chunk, chunk. I have to do sound effect because I got rid of all the other audio. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Just put those guys in there. The intent is to hold the sand in. And as I said, I should have probably put them at the bottom of the box, but I put them in the middle, and that's just where they are. For the 3 times I'm going to use this, it'll be fine. And I'm going to talk about that again at the very end here when all of a sudden I jump back in. I actually say that. The last piece here is the alignment pins. You don't get to see the whole process here because, quite frankly, part of the video was really blurry. I was just showing you that I tapered the ends of these guys so that they'd fit down inside the bottom half of the guide. And these just go the whole width of the flask for the most part, so that I can drop them in from as high as possible and get as much alignment as I can out of them. And I'll have 2 little pieces I'll show you in a second that I glue onto the bottom. All right, and there is the second one done. All righty, well there it is. There's my flask. Pins on 2 sides. You don't really need them on all 4 sides because if the pins are holding, if they're strong enough this way and strong enough that way, 2 are going to do it. They lock together. I cut a little bit of a taper on here. I mean, really crudely. I just use my angle grinder. Cut it just so that I have a little bit of play when I first drop them in there, but then they snug right up. They're right up against the edge. You can see right there. So they're not going anywhere. Registration is going to be good. I don't know how long I'm going to use these guys, but I figured I might as well just make them so that they work. You saw me put in, let's look at the small one. You saw me put in these little ribs here, cut in the things. The reason for the ribs is to help hold the sand in when you're ramming it up. So if you have smooth sides, you could have your sand collapse out. I haven't had that happen yet with my metal flask, but it's a good practice, I think, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Actually, I went ahead and did it. Get back on there. Thank you. So there you have it. Quick and dirty, easy, making some flask. So if you want to subscribe, you can click that little button right there. Subscribe if you like what you saw. Otherwise, you guys have a great day.